Shokan Shadow What If here to bring you episode 3 to What If Deku Was in a Zombie Apocalypse Redo. Now, dogs. I won't explain it all. I'll explain when I finish this. So we start off a few hours after the events of episode 2. Wait, episode 2? Yeah, episode 2 as well. It's nighttime. And they're walking in, honestly, the worst place as they're trying to find shelter. As they all start hearing things running around them, jumping from rooftop to rooftop, following them. As Aries begins to get scared. Same with Melissa. As Izuku's trying to figuring out what the hell is following them. As this is when something jumps Izuku. It tackles him, dropping his M4A1 and his duffel bag off him. They get into a little brawl before whatever grabbed Izuku starts dragging him away. Now, this is when Eri and Melissa pick up everything that fell off Izuku and started running the opposite direction, trying to find help. As well, so this is when we will go back to everyone at the USJ. Inko is doing her rounds, seeing if everything's alright. This is when one of her men say, "Commander, I see a little girl and a blonde-haired girl running down the street with what seems to be an M4A1 along with a duffel bag that I believe has a anti-tank rifle." Now, little thing alert if you don't know guns, an anti-tank rifle is a .50 caliber rifle. Yeah, that's built to go through tanks. Yes. As Inko asks, are they a threat? As the sniper looks again, as then he sees those creatures that nabbed Izuku chasing them. As he just says, they're being chased by night hunters. What? Inko replies, as she tells the sniper to pick off some of the night hunters that get too close to him, and tells the rest of the men to get the gate ready to open. As they reach the gate opens and soldiers walk out shooting the night hunters. As Eri and Melissa go inside. As then Melissa says, "You have to help him." As one of the soldiers says, "Who?" "My friend, he was nabbed. He was taken by one of those things." Huh? As this is when Inko asks, "What did he look like?" And Melissa says, "Green hair, a lot of scars, well built, but not too muscular. This is when Inko gets a shocked expression on her face. As then she says they could be taking him to their nest. As well she gears up and takes her best men to go find Izuku as All Might walks up saying, All Might walks up with a bottle of water saying, "Here, sit down and drink this." Izumasa says, "Okay," as she drinks some of it, and Eri drinks the rest as All Might says, "Now, what are your names?" "Oh, my name is Melissa Shield and this is Eri." As everyone in the USJ knows that David Shield evacuated some of the survivors, but was overrun by a horde and didn't think that his own daughter would be trapped here. So now we'll get back to Izuku as he's being dragged through halls, what looks like Jazzy doing a full hall made of concrete as he sees pipes going that are not in the wall. As this is when he's suddenly chucked into a pit that's, well, full of old clothes, skeletons, and blood. This is when one of the Night Hunters jumps down as Izuku gets up and starts examining the Night Hunter. As he sees that it barely has any muscle. It probably relies on speed and the night to get its prey. It has a more bony structure than flesh, probably a defense mechanism, and it looks like its lower jaw can split open. This is when the Night Hunter says, "Welcome to the nest," as this just shocks Izuku. As then Izuku notices something around the Night Hunter's neck. All he can read is lead scientist. As well, then he says, "You must be the lead. You must have been the lead hunter the lead scientist on Project Nemesis, I assume." As the Night Hunter says, "Yes, I was. And yet, yes, I was. And I told everyone you would never come out of that coma. Yet here you are, standing right before me, Nemesis. My name is Izuku. Get it right." Then Izuku then says, "The Night Hunters, they act like a pack of wolves, and you must be their alpha." As the Night Hunter says, "Correct. You have always been a smart boy." Now, when I was examining you, you were the ultimate weapon. But now, with me like this, the strongest Night Hunter of this pack, I can even beat you. Izuku's now thinking, he's gone fully insane. As then, the Alpha Night Hunter just charges at Izuku. Now, their fight goes on for a while. they both get good hits on each other. Izuku's doing decent damage, but he's not making the Night Hunter bleed, he's just breaking his skeletal structure. As the Night Hunter's getting good damage on Izuku, but he's just regenerating far too quickly for that the Night Hunter can damage. Now we'll skip back to when Inko and her squad gets to the Night Hunter's nest. As they start just pushing their way through, shooting down every Night Hunter they see. As then they see bright lights, which is when they get there, the Night Hunters that are watching the battle between the Alpha Night Hunter and Izuku notice them but don't attack them. They're confused by this, as then they see the battle down in the pit. As the soldiers are just shocked that a human can match the strength and speed of a Night Hunter. As well, this is when Izuku gets the upper hand on the Alpha Night Hunter. He notices the Alpha make a huge mistake, and Izuku capitalizes. First, he kicks the Alpha's stomach, causing him to wind a bit. So when Izuku just starts pummeling into the Night Hunter, the Night Hunter manages to get back on his feet, but this is when Izuku does something very instinctual. He hops on the Night Hunter's back, causing the Alpha to go down to one knee, uses one hand to grab the top of the head, while the other hand to grab the bottom jaw, and completely twists the head and rips it off. But he does it so fast that he loses the head and it goes flying up in the air. As well, before the head hits the ground, he grabs it and raises it up in the air. As Inko isn't really shocked by this, but all the soldiers she was with is. Like a teenager bait a Night Hunter. But a Night Hunter that is considered to be the ultimate zombie mutation. As well, the Night Hunters are now left without an Alpha, so they need to figure out who's the Alpha. So, after Izuku gets out of the pit, all the Night Hunters go to war with each other and try to figure out who's going to be the Alpha. As well, once Izuku gets to his mum and the soldiers, his wounds they saw he had in the pit are just gone. As he just walks past them saying, come on, we need to leave. Inko follows along with the soldiers. Now when Inko caught up to Izuku and said, I missed you, my boy. As Izuku turns around, hugs his mum and said, I missed you too, Mum. As all the soldiers heard this saying, what? Mum? As Inko says, yeah, he's my only child. As well, when they get back to the USJ, it's already morning. As well, the gates open and Izuku goes to find Melissa and Eri. Izuku finds them in a tent that All Might put up for them. Melissa's awake while Eri, she's asleep. So, as soon as Izuku enters the tent, Melissa hugs Izuku saying, "Oh my god, are you alright?" Izuku says, "Yes, I'm fine." As well, yeah. As this is when All For One, along with All Might, asks to speak with Izuku. As he spoke to him, and All Might says, "How do you still have your quirk?" As everyone shocks this, saying, as All For One says, "Yes, as what the soldiers told me, that you have a regeneration quirk." As Izuku just says, "I'm quirkless. And even if I had a quirk, thanks to the Omega virus, my quirk would be gone." As then All Might says, "Please, explain your regeneration and strength." As when Inko was about to explain everything, this is when Izuku just says, "I'm the ultimate being made from the Omega virus." As everyone is shocked to hear this, as All Might says, "So you're infected?" As well, Inko simply says, "Yes, he is." As All Might says, "How do you know this?" As Inko just says, "He's my son." As everyone is just shocked, as one of the soldiers went to shoot Izuku. Izuku notices this and just lets it happen. As well, Inko, knowing what would happen, she just backs up and go hide somewhere. Melissa, seeing Izuku's berserk mode, closes the tent. As people notice Inko and Melissa, as then they see Izuku start moving. As they're even more terrified. As the soldier that shot him in the head, goes to shooting again, as Izuku suddenly sprints up and starts eating the soldier and tearing him limb from limb. Everyone goes to hide. After a while, they notice that he never came for them. As they just see both Izuku and the soldier's body gone. As well, then they see the gate open with a trail of blood. So, top fighters of there follow these trails of blood, and this includes the top students of Class 1A. As well, then they see the soldier's body in the middle of a street, just lying there lifeless, not even turned. This is when they notice Izuku walking back to the USJ. But not as a zombie, like a normal person. As both Inko and Melissa are waiting there for him. As well, they quickly get him into a shower, into a clean change of clothes. What they do is, and when they get back, they see Izuku playing cards with Inko. As they ask, "What the fuck was that?" As Inko just says, "That was his berserk mode." Huh? This is when to Izuku, a blonde-haired boy said, "Berserk mode? What do you mean berserk mode?" As Izuku just says, "When I take too much damage that my body cannot regenerate thanks to Omega, I turn into a zombie until I devour enough flesh to heal the wound." This is when All For One walks up to him saying, "So you are the ultimate being of the Omega virus." As he just says yes. This is when All Might says, "How? Any person we've seen encounter with the Omega virus just turns." This is when Izuku just says, "Well, everyone here is already infected." As they're shocked by this, saying, "How?" As Izuku says, "Well, the Omega virus is also an airborne substance that, once you breathe it in, it lays dormant within your cells until you're bitten by one of them." Sorry for that interruption. Now, where were we? Oh yes, All Might asks, but how? No. Oh yeah, Izuku's in. Yeah, we. I can't English. Yeah, we left before the interruption. Izuku explained how they're all infected and that the airborne virus is dormant until you're bit by one of the zombies. And well, as All For One asks, "How did you become infected in the first place?" As Inko says, "Well, as you all know, Umbrella is the cause of the outbreak, but they were originally intending to make a super soldier serum to increase a soldier's strength, stamina, and give them regeneration. But in a quirked person, it took away their quirk. And it also turned them into that. But my son was the perfect blood type for it. He bonded with the virus, making him the ultimate virus creation. And on top of that, the more times he's in his berserk mode, or the more times he's bitten by the zombies, he becomes stronger and faster. Umbrella nicknamed him Nemesis. As they're all shocked to hear that Izuku is the ultimate being right now. As well, this is when one of the soldiers gets a broadcast. As she goes to Inko saying, "Ma'am, I have received word from one of the remaining generals." As Inko asks, "Give me the message." As she says, "Yes, ma'am. The generals said that they're planning to evacuate people to Island on the other side of Japan. Any survivors wishing to join, come to these coordinates, as she gives Inko the coordinates. As all that's totally on the bottom of Japan, because I'm just going to say the My Hero Academia city where My Hero Academia takes place in is near the top of Japan. As well, then Inko asks, how are we gonna get there? This is when Izuku says, what about a train? As everyone looks at him confused as he says, a train will lead directly down there, and it's the fastest way to get down there, but all we have to do is figure out how to get a train to work. As Inko says, that could work, but all the trains have been out of commission for months, and there's like no power left to the city. As Melissa says, we need to come up with a plan, and I have the beginnings of a pretty good plan. As All Might says, let's hear it. As Melissa then says, step one of the plan is to find a train and see if it has enough train cars to fit, everyone here. And then, once we do that, step two is to get everyone from here to the train safely, and then, while you're doing that, me and Izuku can go to the power station and see if we can get it working. As All Might says, there's one problem. There's a horde between here and the power station. Not plant, station. As Izuku says, I could take them all on, but that'd be too much of a risk. Even with me by myself, even with me in my berserk mode, depending how big the horde is, they could easily take me out. We could distract them, but what else could we do? As Mesa says, I could use the technology here to create a diversion device. As everyone thinks that that's a good idea, so they begin with the plan. Send out scouts to find a train big enough for everyone in the USJ. And Izuku by himself here's a rustle coming from a building he's near that looks like it's boarded up. And that's where we're going to leave it off. Who or what is in the building, in the mysterious building? Remember to comment, like, and subscribe, turn on the post notification bell, and peace.